Welcome to Veterans Corner. I'm RUBEN TRVISO with the American GI Forum. Tonight we have the expert a lot of veterans need, Greg Taylor, a Vietnam veteran. Greg, for whom do you work and how do people get a hold of you?
Well, basically, Ruben, I work for several different agencies. One of them is called Operation Healthy Homecoming, which I was an intern and have been, working hard with homeless veterans. I worked myself up into a position of counselor. I've also worked myself into a position where we go out into the field, get our fingers wet, bringing back veterans who are kind of like down and out, desolate. We're not talking about the walking vet. We're talking about the homeless, broken down vet. The vet that most people would look at and say, that's a bum.
Greg, tell me about your personal story. And you've got so many resources. Everybody knows you, and you're getting veterans employment, health care, psychological support, family support.
Right.
How do you do it?
Well,
and what have you learned from wherever you were?
I've learned to give back, Ruben. Outside of my personal military career and outside of my personal professional career.
You spent 13 years.
13 years in the military.
In the military.
Honorably discharged.
Service in Vietnam.
Service in Vietnam.
In places I can't mention.
Places I don't even want to think about mentioning anymore. But along with that, I've had a very good life. The Lord has given me challenges, which I actually bear through with my sons. I got 7 sons. And
how many sons?
7 sons and 2 daughters.
Oh, no birth control in your family.
It wasn't even something I even thought about. Nobody told me about birth control. They told me live or die. So you either get busy living or you get busy dying. But one of the things that I've learned throughout my life is you never let things go to the point where you give up. There's always a way to get up if you're willing to stand up and listen. There's people out there who are willing to help. And one of the main people who actually brought me back to life when I was so down, I was homeless for a while. I was on the streets.
How long were you on the streets, Greg?
I was on the streets for 2 years.
Wow.
My sons were in a hotel. We lost our house. We lost our car. We lost everything. But I never gave up. And I was washing clothes in a laundromat in Long Beach one time and met a good guy. His name was Herb Lagonis. He works at the Long Beach facility in mental health and vocational rehab. And I didn't know, where he worked at that time. We struck up a conversation. I said, man, I'm looking for a place. I got my sons, I'm on the street, we need a place. He says, well, man, you can go down here, you can do this, Herb was very uplifting, and I said, okay, I'll catch up with you. And I didn't see him for almost 6 months, but he led me into the right direction.
Why'd you wait so long, Greg?
I didn't wait. It just took a while because you don't have a car to get around. But
okay.
7 sons, you're trying to juggle going to school, and we were living in Pedro. But the thing about it,
that's San Pedro, right?
Yeah, that's San Pedro.
Okay.
But the thing about it was that Herb struck a nerve with me, and I didn't know he was a vet until we started talking. And I was vet to vet. 6 months later, I'm down at the Mental Health Association in Long Beach, which is a pretty well-known establishment to help people with mental problems, with homeless problems and stuff. And I'm following up what Herb had told me, and who's there? Herb. And he's doing his thing, and I said, damn, I know you. And he says, yeah, I know you too. And he said, what you doing? I said, I'm going down to the Voc Rehab at Long Beach. That's good, that's good. Have you been doing what I asked you to do? I said, yeah, man, I got me a place now and everything, and set up recovery. So I was never really on any drugs and alcohol, but actually what I did was recover from falling. As a father, you try to pick up the pieces where you fail to do all you can do for your family. I did everything I could do for the military. It was time for me to do something for my family. And I started restoring that and getting that back in line. Meanwhile, I'm struggling to find out what I can do. I got 3 degrees. And
10 degrees you got, Greg.
psychology, political science, and social psychology. I was going to be a doctor, but I found out I'd be a gynecologist. I guess I made too many kids and I couldn't make it. But when I went to the VA, I found out that Herb was working there. So this guy has been very important in my life because he gave back to me something that he was given when he was down. Come to find out he was a recovering alcoholic. Come to find out he was recovering this and that. And he wanted to pay it forward. So I made a promise to myself, once I got standing up straight, vet to vet, working with vets, and give back what Herb gave to me. And that was very important in my life because, you know, you never know how many veterans are out there that just need to hear something that only a veteran can say.
Vet to vet.
Vet to vet. And
Greg, tell me more about Veterans Overcoming Homelessness.
veteran
What do they do? What do they provide? And how do people get in contact with that group?
Veteran Overcoming Homelessness is a program for veterans who suffer either mental illnesses or social diseases such as alcohol or drugs. And what they provide an avenue where you can actually get drug-free, come off the streets, and be provided with a place that you can actually collect yourself.
I understand they also offer a 90-day residential treatment
Exactly.
program.
They offer a 90-day treatment program where you can cleanse yourself if you want to. They go through several different methods. One is just 12-step, and you're not forced into anything. One of the things they realize is most people who are recovering addicts need to recover. But how can they do that without shelter? How can they do that without proper means to finance
The basic
themselves?
necessities of
The
life.
basic necessities. And communication from people who've been there, people who are on the streets, off the streets, working with you to come off the streets.
You also provide, what, 24-hour crisis counseling?
24-hour crisis counseling in case, you know, you slip and fall, might want to kill yourself, or thinking about those ghosts that most people don't think we vets understand or see. And we also provide you with further counseling when you actually go through the 90 days. We encourage you to go further. We find you work, employment.
What
and
about for permanent housing?
permanent housing? We actually have a program through our HUD-VASH program, through certain other social
What is
agencies.
HUD-VASH?
HUD-VASH is a program established for veterans who are looking for home but don't have any means of paying for it. You can actually qualify for the program by registering for it. If you qualify, and what I mean qualify is you don't have to have money, okay? You don't have to have savings in the bank, all right? And if you're not on SSI receiving, you know, pension from the federal government, HUD-VASH will give you a stipend to live off of, and works just like social Section H, except it's for veterans. And this is better for veterans because we can go through LA County to any county, anywhere, and find substantial living.
What vets need when coming home is employment, jobs. What can you do for them for jobs?
Well, basically, I've been a strong believer in understanding where us Vietnam vets came home and what we came home to, how important it is to have somebody that's right there with an arm out, not waiting for you to reach out, but ready to grab you as you come off that ship or come off that dock. Come on, man, we got a place for you. We have a means of providing care for you. The communication is a lot better for these vets now, but a lot of vets still don't understand that these programs exist. You'd never know how many veterans I've seen at some of our outreach conferences that we had, never knew that they could get housing, get employment services, get business clothes given to them, or furnishing for the places that they move into to help their family. And this money is available to each and every vet, whether or not they were separated honorably or dishonorably. You qualify for something. If you don't go in...
Vets want to qualify for a job.
That's right.
How do they do it?
They come
and
down.
Tell me about the Veterans Recruitment Appointment readjustment project?
Veteran Recruitment Readjustment Project is a program set up for veterans that are in between work, looking for work, or at the same time working but need to, find a better job. And we help
Upward
educate
mobility
them.
in your job.
That's right. We give them the tools. We'll give them, if they need help with their resume, they need help with their clothes to get a better job. If they need help finding a job, we do it all for them.
Who's eligible for this?
Most vets that are eligible for this are vets that are just now coming out of the service, 48 months, or they fall into a category B, is what I call like Vietnam vets.
48 months?
48 months. They have 48 months to be approved for a program or longer.
So they've got 2 years?
2 years. The younger vets have 2 years. The older vets fall into a different category where, depending on the percentage they have, or depending on the time that they were in service, or depending on their age. A lot of these things are in a booklet. You can read about it. We have information that we can actually
So
send
they have
to you.
priority to be hired.
All vets have priority to be hired.
Now, is this private sector, government?
It-
Where do
it's-
they, and how do they initiate getting a job with any company or any federal or state agency?
Well, due to the president's decree, he's made it a lot easier for private sector to actually hire veterans and get a substantial stipend from the government for hiring veterans. In the public sector, that's well known already, but a lot of private sector employment is being done now with veterans through corporations like our own here at the VA. We are outsourcing to these private sectors, getting blocks of veterans hired, but you have to come down and say, hey, how do I get into some of these positions? We help you find that resource.
Tell me about the Veterans Employment Opportunities Act of 1998.
The Veterans Employment Act of 1998 has given most veterans an opportunity to at least apply for a job at a certain percentage. We get 10% for being a veteran, and you also get another percentage if you happen to be one of these veterans from Afghanistan or Iraq.
So how much more of a percentage?
5 to 10%,
So
depending.
you're talking about 20, 25%
Exactly.
priority
That's right.
scores
That's
to be able to
right.
go for a job.
Exactly. And that's a great thing when you're thinking that you want to get employment. I remember when I first came home, every job that was offered to me gave me a percentage, and I didn't even know what that percentage meant. But somebody said, man, you already got 10% coming. Sign up, sign up, sign up. But I didn't listen because I didn't believe them, because I'm a Vietnam vet that got crapped on.
How do they get into the process of getting the additional scores when
Basically,
they're asking for employment?
once you fill out the form, it will ask you if you're a veteran. And if you say yes, that gives you the percentage right there when you're being screened. Another thing that a lot of the veterans have
Do
to
human resource managers know this?
Yes. Human resource manager knows it because it's on the application. However, you as a veteran have veteran outreach counselors that will help you, guide you through this, and we make sure you get your percentage.
'Cause a lot of times it's just the paperwork and filling out the right form and submitting this or submitting that.
We help you through all phases of filling out the form to employment. We guide you through the interview process. We do mock interviews so you don't feel like it's the first time. A lot of professionals who are sitting in our roles are helping our veterans get these jobs, because we kind of gouge it a little bit and say, hey, you want to be this, you want to be that. This guy over here done this. We got a resume ready for you. We'll go ahead and
So
slap
you've
this
got the
together.
connections.
We got all the
Of
connections.
all the companies and federal and state agencies
Let me
to
put it like
facilitate them getting in.
Let me put it like this, Ruben. We've gone through hard work with people who are dedicated and sincere about finding that veteran a job, finding that veteran employment or a home to live in, finding that veteran a place that he doesn't have to be on the street anymore. We're very, very, very strong
You
in
case
that.
manage the veteran through the process?
We case manage it all the way and beyond.
So you do what EDD doesn't do.
We do what EDD
We
doesn't
work
do.
with the veteran.
But we work alongside, in cooperation with EDD. Now, we have EDD veterans that are working at the EDD office as outreach veterans at each of your EDD office. All you have to do is go in there and say, I'm a veteran. They'll point you over to the EDD vet.
And that person We'll give them the resources to be able to
That
get a
person
job.
will start the case and point them in the right direction. And if that person isn't doing his job, you can come down to the VA itself. We have voc rehab specialists. We have peer support specialists that are here to guide you through
qualify
that.
to become a voc rehab client?
In order to become a voc rehab participant, you have to fill out the paperwork and you have to qualify by certain areas of needs, okay? Voc rehab doesn't help the guy that's already got a job and he's really doing good. Voc rehab helps the guy that's not doing good, needs work, doesn't have the education. There's a lot of programs that are out there for veterans. Even if you just graduated out of high school, we could take you straight up to your bachelor or master's degree. Even if you have special needs.
You go with them all the way to the process?
All the way to the process. We have veterans that have lost their arms, lost their legs. We have special needs for them. We can do special need assessment. You'll get that job. You'll get that position no matter what. You cannot discriminate whether you're color, whether you're disabled, whether you have certain sexual preferences. There's no color line here. We are helping all veterans.
What's your success rate in this
Our
program?
success rate is 86%, but it depends on the veteran to make that success rate even higher.
Okay, and what about the family?
Family.
How do you incorporate the family?
We incorporate.
I understand with the 1736 Family Crisis Center.
Right.
You work with.
We work with certain other programs like 1736, which is a new SFVF program, a social program, which is out helping families with their problems. Not only are we helping the veteran, we help the veteran's family. Say you got a kid that's going to school right now and he needs certain things like books, clothing. We can help them. We can give you a stipend for your son or daughter going to high school or going to college. We can help them. We can help you find the means to fix your car, for instance.
Fix your car?
Fix your car. If you're on one of our programs, which is HUD-VASH, and you happen to be looking for housing, we can give you money up to $2,000 to fix your car and transportation. So we have the means to help you, but you have to do the first thing by going into the office and seeing where you qualify so we can actually start you on the process.
How do they qualify? What do they need?
First of all, they need to be a veteran, number one.
Okay.
Number two, they should be an honorable discharge veteran. But even if you're not
What if they're a general discharge
even
veteran?
if you're a general discharge veteran, even if you're dishonorably discharged, there's something there for you because you have done some type of work in the administration with the military. So even if you got dishonorably discharged, but you may have certain injuries that you didn't know about, you may have had certain things in your military file that can be looked at, and maybe that dishonorable discharge can be taken to a
Where does a
favorable
veteran
honorable.
find a discharge upgrade?
He can go down to the Veteran Administration or VA Long Beach, which we have VSOs, veteran service organizations like the VFW, AMVETS, American of Foreign Wars. We have Veterans of Foreign Wars. We have a lot of these social services organizations that will help the veterans make corrections on their DD-214, maybe get you a copy of your DD-214 and get it upgraded. Just because you were dishonorably discharged doesn't mean that it cannot be revoked.
Isn't there a legal assistance
Yes.
program or agency
Yes.
that can help them through all the other legal stuff?
Yes, we have.
Like child support?
Yes, we have all. We're very well connected with social services from the community, and also with social services within our own veteran community, especially when it comes to, like you said, child support. We can eradicate child support real quickly if it's a situation where you don't have a job or you're not making enough money. But you have to go down again and be
Where do
reviewed.
they go, Greg? Where do they go?
They can first start registering
Where do they register
at the VA hospital in Long Beach, VA Wilshire, or any of our outreach offices, which you can go online and Google Veteran Services, and they'll tell you how to register. If you need assistance, all you have to do is go down to the EDD office. We have veteran service officers there that are working with EDD, as I stated before. Or go to some of the main hubs. You have one in Long Beach, one in Wilshire, one in Orange County, one down in San Diego. Go find out your rights. And if you happen to be of a certain culture, say you're an Indian, say you got certain rights as an Indian veteran.
As an American Indian?
As an American Indian. which some people don't even think about. Samoans have certain
I
things.
didn't
You
know
know,
that.
oh yeah, they got things for cultural ethnicities that go coincide with your veteran rights. So you have organizations that are set up. I forget which organization it is for Indians, but they meet every Thursday at the VA hospital, and they have a big organization for Indians now.
Rick, tell me about the peer support,
Peer support.
and how does that work, and how does the veteran fit into this system, and do they get ongoing support with their issues?
Right. I'm a certified peer support specialist from the state of California. And I brag about that because there's not too many of us certified by the state. You have a lot of peer support specialists, though. It's a program that takes you into understanding the mental anguish of being a veteran, being under fire, being addicted to alcohol, or just having family problems, social problems. Peer support specialists help guide you through that. We are geared to listen. We're able to understand, and we're able to put you in a right disposition where we can actually help resolve some of your problems. But it takes two. It's always got to be someone talking, someone listening, and that's what we're trained to do is here.
Greg, a lot of veterans are having issues with their children upon return or with their wives. What can you do for them?
Basically, we have counselors that are set up for 24-hour resource crises line. And we also have down in Long Beach, I'm not sure about Orange County, but we have the village of Cabrillo, which is located off of Santa Fe Avenue, which works with single mothers, families, and we house them.
Can they get housing?
They can get housing. In fact, they have a big, huge condo units that they're building right now for families. And all you have to do is go down and apply. Yeah.
Women coming back with their children.
Especially single women, veterans with kids, single mothers who are veterans with kids, single mothers whose husband has died or has been locked up because of drug-related problems and he was a veteran. Come on down and see what we can qualify you for.
What about the health care?
Oh, wow. We got a lot
Talk to me about, a lot of the ailments that veterans have, and how do they qualify for the VA health support and additional outside support?
Well, there's a lot of programming for veterans. I'm sure everybody's been reading the press, the media attention that the Veteran Administration has been getting towards a lot of the problems that has been happening with veterans who have been applying for medical help. However, now that the attention has been given, don't ever look at our facilities, especially here in California, as being anywhere less than 100% qualified to help you. There's a lot of veterans that go to the VA that are seeking help. Maybe your percentage might not be there, but there's outside resources in the private sector. One of them I can tell you for your dental needs is called OSUM, an organization that's dedicated to help veterans with their dental needs for free. You pay nothing, absolutely nothing. And the phone number can be given later, and you can actually make an appointment and be evaluated.
Give me the phone number now.
Well, I can give you the phone number right now.
Can you just
if I can say it right off the top of my head, I think it's 818.
Okay.
Or I'm sorry, it's 323-455-8181. It's in North Hollywood. The co-founder's name is Dorothy Singer, Singer, and when you call that number, she'll get back to you within 24 hours to 48 hours.
Can you repeat the number again, Greg?
That number is 323-455-8181. And it's a nonprofit organization, and they're willing to help you keep your teeth. And I guarantee you, it's a benefit that I've used and a lot of other veterans are using.
Greg, now, I understand that if you live certain miles away from a veteran's hospital, you can seek care with a private doctor.
Yes, you can. In fact, the president has allowed certain changes that weren't existing prior to the media attention to what's been happening in the Veteran Administration, where you can actually seek out a doctor, a certain doctor that you want to outsource to, and if you file the paperwork, you can be approved to see that doctor, and copay and everything will be there, but at least you'll be able to get the help that you need.
Now, how do they do this?
There's forms that they have to fill out with the Veteran Administration,
Okay, they fill out the forms with the Veterans Administration.
but their doctor has to also be approved, which means that the doctor has to go along with the program. If the doctor says, no, I don't want to do it, well, of course that doctor is not going to be one of the
I mean,
persons
let's
on the
say
program.
you want a heart specialist at Cedars-Sinai or Walter Reed or,
You can
or
probably,
some of the top hospitals in the country.
if the heart specialist at Walter Reed agrees to the program, he's your doctor, and that shouldn't be too hard because a lot of these doctors now are vet friendly, not like when we first came back.
Okay, and how many miles must you live away from a main veterans hospital to qualify?
I think it's 50 miles. I can't say for sure. That question is not something I'm really an expert on, but I believe it's 50 miles.
Now, what about the veterans insurance program for dental care?
For dental care, as well as any other care, we have a program called SMILE. And that program through the Veteran Administration is an outsource to either Delta, I don't know what the other one is. It's Delta Care is the main one.
It's MetLife also.
MetLife. You got MetLife and Delta. They can utilize both of them, and they'll pay a very cheap rate, not like they would pay normally if they were just a civilian.
Now, how does a veteran get coverage without pain, and what does he have to do to be able to qualify for 100% coverage?
Well, in order to qualify for 100% coverage, you have to be rated at 100%. However, once you fill out the paperwork, you'll know whether you can get what rate that you can get up to. I know anyone between 20% to, I believe, 80%, they're not going to give you very much care at the VA hospital. But with Delta and MetLife, you probably get better care. So it's better to go through that.
Aren't root canals and extractions done for free?
No.
No?
Root canals and extractions, extractions probably are done easier for free from the Veteran Administration. Veteran Administration, if you're not 100%, they'll extract everything. They care less about holding on to you. But then you're going to have dentures given to you.
I know they've got a whole issue with dentures,
Right.
trying to hand out more dentures.
Right, and it's just, there's something
Yeah.
about,
Are you aware that this weekend, there will be a reintegration program for returning veterans and anyone with PTSD? It's called PTSD and Reboot. It's at from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's coming Saturday, July 19th. Presentation by Dr. Charles Massine, a retired Marine Colonel. It has a 97% success rate for transitioning individuals coming back from combat into civilian life and employment. Also, on July 22nd, the Heroes in Heritage will be presenting a luncheon where over 5,000 veterans will be given lunch, and they'll be honoring Command Sergeant Major Ramon Rodriguez, a Medal of Honor nominee. But also, what do you know about dialysis problems?
well,
And what I hear is what? There are veterans dying all over the country, that they're being denied dialysis treatment. And you can call area code 202-567-1616 for the advocates to help you. You can also go online to Dialysis Advocates, advocates with an S.com, and seek an advocate for you to be able to get treatment when you're denied. There seems to be major issues of veterans dying all over the country, because if you don't receive dialysis within 4 or 5 days, then you're destined and condemned to die. We see a lot of cases like this in Tennessee. I've seen some local cases here. But remember, dialysis advocates at area code 202-567-1616. Greg,
Wow.
thank you very much for coming on the show.
thank you for having me on the show, Ruben.
And thank you, community, for supporting veterans in your community.
Thank you.